Welcome to On-Site Insights, a series of podcasts by On-Site Ventures about deep tech and the people behind it. We invest in the next groundbreaking idea.
Welcome to the fourth episode of On-Site Insights. On-Site Insights is a series of LinkedIn audio events with the goal to bring our portfolio companies and the people behind those companies into the spotlight and give them a platform to present themselves. For the fourth episode, we have Laura Chirica with us today. Laura is the CEO of Cellevate, a Sweden-based nanotechnology company dedicated to building the future of bioprocessing for cell and gene therapy bioproduction. Thank you for being here today, Laura.
Thank you for inviting me, and good morning.
Laura, you are actually our first female startup CEO on this event, and you are also a unique leader with more than 20 years of experience from commercial positions in both startups and multinationals from the life science and diagnostics industries. Initially joining as a Chief Strategy Officer in 2021, you became the CEO of Cellevate in 2022. Could you begin by sharing with our listeners a bit about your personal and professional background prior joining Cellevate?
Yes, so hi Andrea, and hi everybody. Thank you for organizing this podcast. I have been thinking that there will be several of these kind of occasions to meet investors the coming years as we are moving towards the commercialization of our product. So if we start just about my personal background, just three things. My personal background has started to be shaped when my mother passed away in brain cancer when I was 9 years old, and this has made me to make a true commitment to work with biosciences and treatments to prevent young girls from growing up without a mother. In this time, since then, I have been all my life involved in taking care about people being in different types of activities. Being in sports has also shaped who I am, has taught me discipline, prioritization, and focus. And the third thing is that I have been living in 8 different countries, and I am extremely grateful for that and for learning to appreciate different cultures and different ways of doing things. Regarding my professional background, I will also bring up 3 main points. I have a scientific background. I have a PhD in medical biochemistry, but I have been working with company strategies, global commercialization in large multinational organizations like GE Healthcare, like Sartorius, as well as medium and startups in different life sciences fields, such as bioprocessing, diagnostics, and lab services. When it comes to bioprocessing, I have been working very closely with building the teams, the business plans, the commercialization to strategic pharma customers like Amgen, Genentech, Pfizer, Roche, Sanofi, Novartis, and many others. They were all my customers throughout my career. And I have a very close connection to this, what I call the bioprocessing family, where Cellevate is now on its way to take a place.
Thank you for your inspiring story, Laura. What inspires you to lead startup and drive the commercialization efforts rather than taking on a high-level position in an established organization?
It's an interesting question. There are many aspects that, and I have been, believe me, considering this question several times. But I think there are many aspects that are extremely inspiring in starting from a blank page and being able to write the fantastic, successful story of a company. And I'm going to be honest and say that it's not the startup in itself that inspires me, but rather the scale-up journey the development. And since I am commercial to the bone, it is reaching that hockey stick in the sales and becoming that player that with all the different parameters that are required to be accepted by the customer, with the trust, with the quality, with the production, with the data. And all these, and we should be very, very clear about it, all these created by an amazing team. And I think that is what inspires me absolutely the most, to work in this scale-up development of the companies and not in the already established fantastic multinationals that provide a great school to learn how that is done in the best way.
And how did you come by Cellevate? Because Maximilian Ottosson, which is the CEO, and Alvin Jakobsson, the CTO, they founded Cellevate in 2014 together with Professor Lars Montelius as a spin-off from the NanoLund Competence Center at Lund University. Could you share the founding story of Cellevate and how you actually met?
Yes, sure. So exactly as you mentioned, Cellevate was founded from the very beginning as a project that was coming from Professor Lars Montelius and Professor Fredrik Johansson from NanoLund, working with nanotechnology in this reference center at Lund University. It's a world-renowned center from which many companies, I was counting actually one day, 1 year, 2 years ago, 11 companies have been originating from NanoLund based on different use of nanotechnology in different fields. And there was, in fact, a group of students that founded Cellevate together with their two professors. And they were working originally to develop nanotechnology solutions for life science laboratory research applications. And in that group, Maximilian and Alvin are the two that remain active in the company, and they are still two of the active founders. They have been working throughout the years, focused on developing and selling cell culture plates for the laboratory research applications together with two more colleagues. They are now part of the management group, and they are involved in developing further and scaling up the production, and also in the business operations that we are working together with Maximilian. And I came to Cellevate and met them towards the, let's say, August, September of 2021. And it was a mission from the board of directors to work with the company strategy and to develop a look into the potential of working with this fantastic material, fantastic nanotechnology-based material in industrial applications, and to see what kind of potential we could then develop further in bioprocessing. And this is how everything started.
We also like to discuss the spin-off process a little bit. Unlike most European countries where researchers do not own their intellectual property rights from their invention, Sweden grants this privilege to its researchers. Have you observed or heard of any potential drawbacks, such as reduced university engagement in funding or other areas?
It's a good question, and I have heard it actually several times, especially since in 2002, as I recall it, Germany has removed this right. Well, the right of owning your own invention in Sweden is actually extremely old. It's from 1949, and it has been leading to a very high amount of innovation, putting Sweden on the top of the IP per capita for many, many years. And that has then convinced the politicians to continue with this law and to allow the people to place their inventions in so-called company, or let's say pockets where the companies were not yet in place, but then the innovation was placed there, so then the companies were built afterwards based on that. And I know there are different voices in this area talking against it, but based on different analysis, there are many articles and even PhD theses around this that shows that the benefits for the development of IP and companies and are so much better and larger than removing it. So I can only say that it has been very good for us in Sweden.
Now I would like to switch to the motivational point of view. So as a CEO, what drives you every day to keep pushing the boundaries at Cellevate?
I think in general, that is a combination of, I think especially who you are as a person, and also what you are doing in your everyday life, and then a combination of the two. In my personal position, I believe very much in the potential we have to affect the future of cell and gene therapies with our products. It's unbelievable medicines that have revolutionized the way we treat diseases that were never able to be treated before. And also to enable the access of the patients to these amazing therapies is the main reason. On the other hand, I want us to be successful. It's what drives me every day. All of us, it's not me. It's all of us. It's the team. It's the investors that support us. It's the customers. It's the patient. And this drives me every single day, every morning, every time that I have to be working. And it's quite a lot in a startup, of course.
And I would also like to discuss now what Cellevate actually does. So could you explain what's unique about your product?
Yes. So I'm thinking that maybe not everybody, and I have also seen throughout our financing journeys that not everybody is aware of what a microcarrier is. So I was thinking that let me start by defining that. And it is a structure that is created by polymeric scaffolds that are then either monofibers, like I will take an analogy with a hair, so a nanofiber is like a piece of your hair, as in our Cellevate 3D microcarriers that we bring to the market at the end of this year. Or there are cross-linked variants where you cross-link this into macrocarriers that we are going to launch later on in 2026 for cell therapy applications. So they are structures that are created by these polymeric scaffolds that the adherent cells are using to grow. And then they grow, creating spheres together with our fibers. So the cells are using the fibers to grow better and to be able to be scaled up. The uniqueness for us starts from the proprietary methods that we have for post-processing in the production and creating, being able to mold these fibers in different shapes and forms. Usually in industrial applications that we are addressing, you need to grow the fibers in bioreactors. They are big containers, let's call them, but they are very specifically designed for the growth of the cells with different monitoring parameters of what happens inside and the possibility to scale them up. You start with a little bioreactor for the lab scale in some 100 milliliter scale up to there are 20,000 liter bioreactors for gene therapy for the approved processes today. And thereby, you need to be able to grow the cells in these bioreactors. In general, the cell and gene therapy, they face big challenges to obtain yields of their therapy, large yields, and also to be scaled up. And last but not least, they have extremely high prices that makes them unaffordable for the patients in need. Thereby, during the last year, a lot of pressure has been put by the regulatory on the manufacturers to start implementing innovative, disruptive solutions and technologies to increase productivity and decrease the cost of production so that the 3 million patients that are in need could get access to these amazing medicines that have shown such a potential. So in other words, everything in life is about timing. We have a fantastic timing on the market. We are offering nanofiber-based microcarriers that provide an unmatched surface area for the cells to grow. They mimic the cellular environment, making them to produce more of the product of interest, and they are scalable from lab to large-scale production. These benefits are obtained based on the patented post-processing methods, as well as application patents that we have filed during the last years. And we have shown in several studies that we obtain 2 times productivity and yield than the current processes. And thereby, we have an enormous potential to disrupt the upstream bioprocessing industry and provide that decreasing cost of production that they are looking for.
And from a consumer perspective, how can Cellevate change their life?
Yes, so that's always the let's say ultimate question. You want to have somebody who is going to use your product and benefit from it, and we are providing so-called cell culture products and systems, which is making us a supplier in the bioprocessing industry. So we are part of the bioproduction. We are supplying cell culture products to the bioproduction steps. And especially bioproduction is divided into 2 parts. One is called upstream, which is the one where the cells are cultured to produce the kind of the either viral vector or cell or vaccine of interest. And then they are transferred to the downstream where the product of interest is purified and then is brought to the format that is filled and finished for the use in the patient. From a consumer perspective, the consumer being in the end the patients, but throughout this chain, our customers are the contract drug manufacturing organizations, the CDMOs, that are extremely many today, and they are very much growing, providing services to the pharma. That are the ones who are then innovating, bringing the projects to the contract drug manufacturing organizations that are the ones who need to have efficient production so they can bring down their costs. Then, of course, in the pharma, there are process development teams that are needing innovative tools and so on. So we are also working with them. And there are also reference centers, academic centers, who are also working together with pharma, developing their projects. And also those are our customers. And we have started evaluations and validations with all of these targets. And it's so exciting times. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but it's so exciting times for us because we are going to get results from these evaluations. And these results are going to take us to the position of bringing this product to the market so we can change the life both of the customers, making their production cheaper, faster, with a better transfection efficiency, with a better yield. And we can also, in this way, change the life of the patients because we can provide access to these therapies. If you think, since 2015, when the first gene therapy was injected in the first patient, only 10,000 people, is almost 10 years, have been treated with gene therapy, and only through the clinical studies. It is estimated that 3 million would need to be treated with that in the coming years in just US and Europe. And to be able to get there, it's needed this big change, and we are able to ignite that change, accelerate that change, and create this access to the patients.
I can hear the excitement in your voice, and I can see that it's a really exciting time for Cellevate. Transitioning to the bigger picture now, what is your vision for Cellevate?
It may sound, it may sound like either too ambitious, or it may sound like, is it realistic, or different kind of questions people have been asking. And I will say that our vision is to become the market leader in upstream bioprocessing, and particularly designed for cell and gene therapy production. And it's very much true and achievable vision, because there is such an enormous need for the nanotechnology that we are offering, for the products that we are offering in these particular applications that are projected to fivefold grow the coming only until 2027. It's projected to grow 5 times the cell and gene therapy production. So there is an enormous need, which makes us into the seat to be able to become the market leader in this field.
And where do you see cell culture technologies and upstream bioprocessing, meaning industrial novel biotherapies, bioproduction applications in the next few years?
Yeah, I think it's not an easy answer, and it would be wrong of me to give you a definite answer in this. In what I can tell you, just by analyzing where the field is going, cell culture has been, and it is, and is going to remain, an indispensable tool in modern day medicine and all its applications. So it's everything from diagnosis to infection to treatment, where we are part of these therapies. But cell culture methods, if you think from a scientific standpoint, they are unbiased to some extent, and they are only limited by the ability of the different virus cells to grow in a particular cell line. So this has been also overcome with the transgenic cell culture technology, and I think the future will just make the cell culture to be more standardized, and it's just going to be built. All the future will be for the new wave of gene therapies, cell therapies is going to continue to be built on the cell culture. And I think like I said, since the market is of cell and gene therapies is expected to be up to $20 billion by 2027 from about $4 billion in 2022. This is only going to happen based on the cell culture technology at the bottom of it, because everything is built on it and is developed from there.
And now switching gears a little bit, you raised your seed round in 2023, led by Industriefonds in syndication with the European Innovation Council Fund, and of course On-Site Ventures. And how was your experience during the fundraising and with VCs in general?
Yeah, it's always interesting to look back, right? The experience, and I have gotten this question from some of the CEO colleagues I have met in different events, and I think for us it was an extremely good experience, which was developing us. I think it is important for everybody who embarks on such journeys to be very prepared, to have a clear strategy and an implementation plan with clear budgets and with fantastic teams. And I want to make a special point about the team. On the other hand, I think it's important to be patient and never give up. It started for us with the EIC Accelerator grant and the whole process of getting the 2.48 million euro awarded together with the 3 million euro equity investment from EIC fund. It was a very tough process, but it was a fair process and a developing process. Then industry fund decided to invest in us and also on-site ventures. And during this process, we worked extremely focused and dedicated. I was counting, we pitched 266 times during 15 months. And we have been in general in about 6 to 8 due diligence processes in parallel. And I believe that by working focused, dedicated, you will be able to achieve your goals. And we were very grateful for this investor syndicate that was great for us and has supported us throughout the journey now. So for if you ask me, it was a great experience.
A last question. What is up next now for Cellevate? Can you elaborate a bit on the next steps? We already touched it a little bit with the commercialization efforts and the product launch.
Yes, so the next steps for us are very clear. The launch of the first ever nanofiber-based product, the screening kit for upstream bioprocessing of gene therapies in November, December in Europe this year, and in January and February in the US. And that is due to the conference timing. In the launch package, we will have customer evaluation data and proof of concepts. This is essential for the new kid on the block, as Cellevate is in the bioprocessing. We are establishing now in the US in the second half of the year. We will scale up the organization with the support team, logistics, order handling to be able to start sales. We have created our sales funnel with over 1,000 customer targets, and we will continue to expand it as we expect to sell to over 1,000 customer projects in 2025. The screening kit provides the customer with a tool to evaluate and benchmark against their own processes to discover the benefits in yield, volumetric productivity, and cost of production that will make them in the end to shift to our product. As we will be achieving ISO 9001 and GMP during 2025, we are moving to a location that is customized for us in the same science park where we are in Q1 next year. And there we will scale up the production even further, and we will launch the bulk product that is designed for large-scale production of viral vectors. And we will enter the bioprocessing large projects in 2025. So just don't think that we will sit down and relax. In parallel, we are developing another family of products that I told you, especially designed for stem cell production, that we call Cellevate microcarriers, which is, of course, cellulose sustainable cross-linked structures that allow the stem cells to grow, maintaining their identity and quality, which is critical in these applications. We will also launch this product portfolio in 2026, followed by the vaccine production.
Exciting times are ahead. That brings us to the end of today's episode, and a huge thank you to Laura for sharing your insights and to all of our listeners for tuning in.
Thank you.
That was On-Site Insights, a series of podcasts by On-Site Ventures about deep tech and the people behind it. For more information on our portfolio companies and investment strategies, visit our website, onsite.vc, and follow us on LinkedIn at On-Site Ventures.